Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So today is another day in the life thrift with me video. So we're getting out bright and early because we have to drive pretty far to get to any thrift stores. So Jimmy was outside just waiting for us to leave. He's so cute. It had been raining a lot prior to this, so I think he was super excited to be back outside and nice weather. And I gave him a little bit of cat food, and then we were on our way. So the first stop we made was at one of the clothing stores that we like to thrift at for reselling, and then I was taking this footage for John to use as a thumbnail because he has a channel where he shares all about our reselling, but I don't think he ended up using it, so I thought I would just stick it in there. And then right across from this secondhand clothing store is where they have the outdoor flea market that I have filmed a few times. So they just have it in the parking lot. They weren't having it this day because it was a weekday. But I did a film inside the building. It's a place called Treasure Hunters, and it's sort of antique mallish vibes, but not quite. And also in that same plaza is the furniture store that I filmed in, I think last year, vintage furniture store. So I'm going to post that as a separate video, the Treasure Hunters. But then we went to another of the same chain location, and then we stopped for something to eat. We got this plant-based KFC sandwich, which is so good. I'm seriously addicted to it. So then we drove almost another hour, I think. So we're like almost 2 hours away from home to go to this store that I saw this shelf in that is sort of like retro looking. I don't think it's necessarily on purpose. This store gives me like major department store in the 90s vibes. Like, it's called Rossi. I don't know. I think it might just be in like the maritime provinces of Canada, but I don't know. But it honestly looks like it just has a bunch of inventory left over from the 90s and they just put it in a department store. But because of that, you can sometimes find things that are a bit like more retro style, I guess. So I'd seen this shelf when we'd been like at another area of the province, and I thought, well, I looked up any other locations so that we could go find it. So it's coming up here. It's this like corner shelf that's sort of like lacquered, but it also has like the chrome. And so I really wanted it for the kitchen, but I wanted orange. So we were seeing if they had orange, and actually I wanted two of them. So unfortunately this store only had the green one. They didn't have any orange, which I was so sad about because I thought for sure that they might have like more than the green one. So John was like getting help from somebody, so I just thought I would do a little look around, and if there's not anything more 90s than this, is like they have layaway here. I was dying in here. So I don't know, I just thought I would like film a little while I was waiting. I thought this dresser was actually kind of nice. It sort of had a little bit of like a vintage like 60s feel to it with the legs and stuff, but oddly enough, their pricing is actually a little bit crazy for like what this stuff is. I think I might show you the price, but I think this dresser was like $300 if I'm remembering correctly. And I mean, it's just like made of pressed board. It's not made of real wood. So, but having said that, if I didn't already have a dresser and I saw this one, I'd probably be like, oh, I like that. So I don't know. They also had it in white, I guess. But yeah, major department store like in the 90s, especially this electronic section. They've got like little CD players. They've got a little CD tower for your CDs. I was just like this. I used to work at a department store in like the year 2001, and in Canada. It was called Zellers. It's gone bankrupt, I guess. But it gives me that kind of a feel when I'm in the electronics department in there. This town was super pretty, though. I thought I would film a little as we were driving along. I'd like to go back to it and just have a little touristy moment. I really liked the Coke painted on the brick building there. So after that disappointing adventure, we went to Value Village, and so I did film thrifting in here and just keep it all in this video. So we got there for opening on this day. I think it was opening at 10 or 11. I can't remember. But John was on a mission to get over to the like glass case where they keep I guess, more valuable-ish type things. I think he was looking for video game stuff to resell, and I think he might have found something on this day. I'm not sure. I just had a look. I didn't really see anything that was of interest to me necessarily, but I love how they have bags of Lego in there. Like, they have to keep it in their counter, and like how much Lego is worth is kind of insane to me, because I feel like it was so abundant and cheap when I was a kid. But then I went ahead and got started. I like to look in the picture kind of, not really picture, but like the art section, I guess we'll call it. I saw this Mae West kind of tin picture. In the past, I have found some cool pieces in this section, but I feel like it's been years since I found something really good. I might be not remembering, but I can't recall anything within the past like 3 or 4 years that I found. I always like to film the furniture section because I think it's interesting. I'm usually never looking for furniture. I feel like I have all the pieces I need. It would have to be something really spectacular and that would fit in our car. I've been noticing a lot of these really old, well, not really old, but the old style TV, like entertainment stands for the tube TVs. I feel like I just see them everywhere. I think that headboard might have been here the last time we were here. But yeah, this one was a really big one. It had a lot of different compartments in it. And then I noticed this beauty. I love these pieces so freaking much. It would be my dream to find one that worked, that was in good condition, that I could have in my house. My grandparents used to have one, but before that, like years and years before, like decades before I was born, I think probably in the 1950s, they had one that also had a small TV in it, but like the top was a stereo part. I might have a photo of it somewhere, but I loved it so much. And I think my grandparents were one of the first people in their neighborhood to get a TV. So like they said that like their neighbors and stuff would come over and like they'd watch TV together. And I just think that's so wholesome. But yeah, I think it was a really small TV though. Like it was probably only like 13-inch and probably black and white, I would guess. I really, really hope that I do have a photo of that though, so I could like insert it at some point, if not in this video, if I don't find it. But it's funny because it probably cost a lot of money for that small TV and then like stereo built into the cabinet like that, versus like today, how cheap you can buy a TV. So John decided to look with me like at the same time, which he never does. He usually just says, okay, I'm gonna go look at the clothes, and then he'll go back over this later. But so we were both wheeling our carts along at the same time.
Did you donate it?
No, we haven't.
I really liked this. I think you're supposed to like put the record you're listening to on the top, or maybe it's just for CDs. I can't tell exactly by the just looking at it here.
I think like it has like an iPhone, like, or an iHome thing. Yeah. You're just really into the hard goods, aren't you?
They always have all their clocks together on the end like this. I think that fish clock might have been here the last time they were here. I can't remember. But again, with the kitchen geese, it's so hilarious how much kitchen geese stuff is out there. Like just how insanely popular it was at one time. So they had Christmas out. I don't remember if they have it out like all year, but I'm really excited to start thrifting during Christmas season. I'm like thinking about November, December, how fun it's gonna be. But honestly, I've mentioned before, I feel very disappointed generally when looking at the Christmas sections in most thrift stores, just because it all looks very 90s, 2000s to me, and not my style. So I don't know, I'm thinking about trying to map out some like antique stores to visit during Christmas season, because then, you know, I'll probably find a lot more of like my style things. Not that I necessarily want to pay antique prices, but I don't know, you never know. Plus it's just fun to look, and I did film a few of those videos last season and they did perform pretty well, so I think other people like seeing it as well. It's just really fun at Christmas time, I feel like, versus any other time of the year, because just vintage Christmas is everything. For some reason lately I've been looking a lot at decorative plates. I don't know why, because I don't even like have a use for them or anything, but I just find it interesting lately. So they had some of the like JFK and Jackie, and these plates I've been seeing everywhere, and I feel like I never noticed them before, and then now they're everywhere. So maybe they were always everywhere and I never noticed, but this huge stack was all the same apparently. I loved this though. I thought this would fit in with my bathroom like so well, but I also felt like I didn't necessarily have the wall space for it, except behind my door, but I didn't want to put something like that behind the door because I thought, oh, if the door accidentally hits it, it would fall and smash. So I ended up leaving it, but looking at it now, I'm like, oh, I should have got it. Just tried to make it work. Lately, I have been looking in the like picture frame aisle because I'm looking for these specific picture frames, and I swear I used to see them all the time. And now I'm struggling to find them now that I actually need them or want them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure when I stop thinking about it, I'll start seeing them again. But I've also been looking for old old style photo albums with the plastic piece that you like peel back, because I have a bunch of cameras that like take Polaroids, or like a printer that prints out Polaroids, like prints it onto a Polaroid basically, but you've taken the photo with your phone. Eventually I'll be able to talk. So I've been thinking it would be really cool to make a bunch of photo albums with Polaroid photos in it. So I've been looking. I did find a few. I already have a few, but I did find a few on this day. I really like the ones that have black background, so I was excited when I saw this one. I just feel like the white border on the Polaroids really like pop on the black, and I don't know, just like it. They're usually pretty inexpensive as well, so I liked these ones with like the mountains on it. I thought that was nice. And then I noticed one that I'm pretty sure I have, not the same one, but a similar design, where it's like the picture looks like it was taken of a like woven material. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I ended up getting this one because I thought it matched the one that I have already, although I haven't actually looked to find that one, so it might just be in my head. But I thought it had a very 70s vibe anyway, so I thought it was definitely worth getting. I noticed this mug is in the same style as those plates. I don't know if I've seen a mug before, but like again, it's everywhere. It's so strange. I'm always hoping I'll find some vintage mugs, but it seems like it just never happens. I don't know if it's because I'm thrifting too much or what it is, but I just feel like I'm always just seeing the same old stuff everywhere. And it's like discouraging at times, but then there's always that when you're going out thrifting, like before you get there, there's always the anticipation of you could literally find anything, and it gets me so excited that it overtakes the disappointment feeling. So I don't know, it's a trade-off, I guess. But I do think that in recent years, it seems like harder and harder to find vintage things for sure. So I guess that's just how it is. The more time passes, the less frequently you'll find things from those eras. But then there's always the times you go out and you find an amazing piece for very little money. I feel like Salvation Army is the best place where I find like the most vintage things for the least amount of money. So I just wish that there was more of them that I could go to. There's really only like 3, I think, that I can go to. We had one actually like close to where we live, but it closed, and I was so sad because it was so good. I think I did film a couple videos in there before it closed down, but like it was 2 stories. It was amazing. They had an entire room dedicated just to Christmas, which I really loved that store. It was so nice, but I guess they just weren't busy enough. At this point, I feel like I should actually go online and see if any of this geese stuff is worth money, since I see it so much that I could be reselling it. This little cute creamer. It looks like it might be vintage, but it's actually not. Well, it's from the 90s, but I actually have that set. I have like the sugar creamer and the teapot. This is the first time I've ever seen it outside of the time that I bought it, which I think I bought it at the thrift store I used to work at, which is also a consignment shop, and we didn't have any rules about what we could buy. Like, we didn't have to put it out on the floor and then buy it. So if I saw something I liked, I could just buy it right away, which is so dangerous. I swear I spent like all the money I made there just like buying stuff, but I bought it. I think it was only like $10. It just usually couldn't like price it yourself, because then it would just be, I don't know. I'd always ask somebody else to price it, and then I would just pay whatever price they put on it. I loved this tray so much. It's so 70s, but I've reached a point where like I just have too much of this stuff, and I don't have I don't necessarily have a lot of opportunities to use this stuff for the amount that I have, so I just really shouldn't buy it anymore. It would have to be something like spectacular, and then I would probably just get rid of something that I already had. So, but I did really like it, and I find things like that are quite large are just like harder to ship, because shipping is so expensive in Canada anyway. So the bigger the box, the more expensive it is. So typically like it would be probably $30 to $35 to ship that, like even just within Canada. So is somebody going to pay money for it plus the $35 shipping? Probably not. That's what sucks about reselling in Canada, is like the shipping cost is so high that I don't know, you have to like price things lower than maybe if I lived somewhere else where shipping was not as expensive. I love when I see things like this still in the box like that. This kind of has like more of a, well, maybe 70s, but kind of 80s look. I actually have quite a few of that stuff already though, still in the box as well. Always looking for vintage thermoses to sell. I've had some luck, but not a lot of luck, I guess. And then I noticed this. This was here the last time I was here, and I was saying I didn't understand what the whole part was for. But one of you let me know that a wine bottle actually goes in there, and then those little indents you can hang wine glasses from. So I thought that was really cool. So it's like wine and cheese board. So thank you for letting me know. I don't remember who let me know that, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it all made sense. I noticed another one of these plaid Aladdin ones, but I think we already have 3 or 4 right now for like in our inventory, so just left that one there. I'm sure I'll see one again if we run out. And then I noticed some smaller ones. I think they were for soup. Well, I guess you could use the big one for soup too, but I was debating about whether I should get them because I have one currently that is a different color. So I was thinking maybe I could buy these 2 and I could put them together in a lot and sell them, but I couldn't. I ultimately just left them there. And then I saw this, which I thought was really cool. Apparently it's like an attachment to a mixer, I think, or an attachment to food processor. So I was kind of thinking about it. It even still had the instruction thing. Maybe I should have looked it up to see if it was worth anything, but I ended up just leaving it there. And then all the vintage crock pots. I love them so much. Although one thing I've noticed about the vintage ones is the insert doesn't come out. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I think it would be like difficult to clean because I usually just take my insert out and just like set it in the sink water to like soak for a little bit so that it's, you know, wipes out really easy. So I don't know, I guess you could just pour water into it, but I like that they started making them with the insert that comes out, but I do like the style of them a lot. Mine's just plain black. I do have a smaller one that's like cute looking that kind of fits in with my vintage kitchen. Probably seen it, but it has like yellow daisies on it, so I do like it, but like my big one is just a plain black. Every time I see these in the store, I already have some, so I don't need them, but it reminds me of French onion soup and how much I love it. Like, I need to make it soon. And then I just noticed, not in the store, but while I'm filming, like recording this voiceover, how expensive those are. So they want $4.49, and it says ×2, but that just means the bowl and the lid. That's crazy for that. They're so abundant. Like, you're gonna want more than one. So for a set of 4, that's crazy. That's like $20 for French onion soup bowls that are used. Doesn't even include tax either. We pay 15% tax where we live, so that's a lot. I love these little warmer things. I think I've mentioned before, but my grandma actually gave me one, like, that's still new in the box. She's never used it before. Like, I think she literally just had it in her attic for decades, because she's of that generation where, like, if someone gives you a gift, like, you just keep it just because. I think she's like let go of it now a bit, but yeah, so she just had all this stuff that was given to her that she's like, yeah, I never used it. And it's like, it definitely looks like it was maybe late 70s, maybe early 80s, but I haven't used it yet either. So I don't know, we should use that sometime, maybe in a recipe video or something. So then I wanted to look at the books, specifically the cookbook section, and I am so glad I did look at the books this day, because I found a bunch of amazing books on this day. And at our Value Village, it's buy 4, get the 5th one free. So if I find 1 or 2, and like maybe John finds 1, we usually just try to get 5 at least, so that we're like getting the deal. I'm pretty sure on this day we ended up getting like 20 maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I ended up getting like more than 10, but I might also be thinking about a different day, because I have a ton of Thrift With Me videos that I haven't posted yet. So after we got done there, I really wanted to go to a store called Winners, or maybe it was called Home Sense now. I can't remember, but I wanted to see if they had any fall things out, and they definitely did, which made me so excited for fall. I can hardly wait for fall. It's like as soon as August comes, I'm just ready for fall. I loved this little nut bowl. I feel like it kind of has a vintage kind of feel to it. Like it would fit in with my house for sure, but I already have a really great nut bowl, so I didn't need it, but I did think it was really cute. So I just thought I would film the fall stuff in case any of you are like me and you're excited for fall. And I actually don't do like a ton of decor for fall though. I feel like a lot of fall decor is sort of like farmhouse-ish looking, just by like nature, I guess. And that's not really my style. So anyway, that was it for the fall. I was hoping that they were going to have more stuff, but they did not. And they didn't have any Halloween stuff out yet, which makes sense because this is back in July, but still. So then we went to a couple more thrift stores. I had just filmed like a walkthrough in this store fairly recently, and same with this store, the SPCA store. I'm sure they'll be like linked in my description. So I didn't bother filming on this day because like I had just been in there and filmed, but then we stopped for some Starbucks before making the drive home. Whenever we're out like for the full day, I feel so bad for Marley. So she's always like my #1 priority when we get home. So I ran upstairs to see her. She's so cute. It was really dark in here because I had the curtains closed so it wouldn't get too hot in the bedroom, but it does get very hot in the upstairs part of our house. So I turned on the AC right away to start cooling it down up there before we went to bed later. And as you can see, it was 26 degrees up there, and that was like having the curtains closed all day so that the sun wasn't shining in. It gets so ridiculously hot up there, and we have like those slanted walls, so it's almost like an attic feel. But Marley was really excited we were home, so she ran in here after I had a shower and changed into pajamas. She was in here with me, and then I came downstairs. She followed me downstairs. So funny. We were trying to give her catnip, but she wasn't super into it. She ate a tiny little bit of it and then was just like, okay, whatever. So, and she just noticed I was sitting on the couch, and right away she wanted to come up and keep this blanket next to me all the time. She likes to sleep there next to me. She's so cute. I feel so bad when she's home alone though, because we used to have 2 cats, and sadly our other cat passed away right before we moved here. So like her whole life she's had another, you know, cat with her. So I just feel extra bad for her now that she's been alone for, I can hardly believe it, but for 2 years. And so after we got home, we were hungry because we've been out all day. So I just made a really lazy dinner of like some vegan chicken strips and fries, but it tasted so good. So while we were eating, we were just watching some Lost, but then afterwards we had to sort through all of the clothing that we had bought that day. We try to like just sort through it all the same day that we get it. But now I'll show you what I ended up getting that day. So I hit the jackpot. I found the most amazing books. They're called the Encyclopedia of Good Decoration. They're from the late 60s, early 70s. I can't remember offhand. I took the dust jacket off to show because you guys know I hate the dust jackets. So they kind of look cool, but like I also kind of hate them. But I am such a huge fan of like home decor and design, and to find these just made my day. So apparently there's like 18 in the set, so I didn't get all of them, but they had a bunch. I think I ended up getting a total of 6 this day, but yeah, I ended up going back another day and finding more. But John actually just yesterday, so this was filmed like a month ago. Yesterday, a package came and he was like, oh, this is something I got for you from eBay. And it was another one of the books. So sweet of him. So then I did get some other books too. I got this Jackie Kennedy book. And then I did find this Forks Over Knives cookbook, which is like a plant-based. And then I found this amazingness, this Better Homes and Gardens Stitchery and Crafts. I've wanted this for so long. I hadn't thought I was going to find it out in the wild, but I did. I had it on like a list of like things from eBay that I wanted. Like sometimes I'll just randomly send John links to things that I want from eBay. And then he just like keeps that, I guess, probably in like some note or something, so that if he wants to buy me something, we usually buy each other secondhand gifts a lot because that's just what we like. But also on this day, I found this kitchen and baths design book as well, which I love. And then I did end up getting, I didn't get both of them. I just got one with the mountains on it. I think I got the black pages inside, and then I did get the one with the flower on it. And then I did see this New York World's Fair thing from the 60s, this little tray that I really liked, very 60s, so I decided to get that as well. So that is it for today's video. It's a longer one, but a lot of you said you didn't mind the longer videos, so here we are. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do have a couple more day in my life videos, I think, where I was thrifting, and then I think the next video I will post might just be the walkthrough of that store that I showed at the beginning of the video, the Treasured Friends, is that what it's called? I can't remember. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.